Go.
This is the tying of a scrambled egg. First, we're going to go through some of the materials that you're going to need for this fly. This is glow bug yarn. This is used on this fly. And then the hook that I prefer to use on this fly is like a 2X heavy scud hook. There's two hooks. The one from Tiemco would be the 2457, and the one from Daiichi would be the 1120. And then I prefer to use a GSP polyspun thread because it's much stronger and it will actually cut down into that egg yarn material and it will actually hold up better on our steelhead fishing here in Ohio. The first step is you start your thread base like any fly. I like to build up a decent thread base because otherwise that material will actually slide on the hook base. So we'll wrap this kind of over top of itself like that. Trim off your tag end. The next step is we're going to grab a piece of glow bug yarn and either split it in thirds or fourths, just depending on how thick the piece is. This stuff varies as far as thickness in the package. You'll find thinner or thicker spots. So we'll pull off a piece of this, and this just so happened to split into a third. Kind of comb that stuff out so you get any burrs in the material out. And then tie this in at the back. Cinch that down. About 2 or 3 really good locking wraps, and then trim that off. So it'll end up like that. For the next step, what you're going to be doing is you're actually going to be folding the material up and over towards the eye of the hook. And there's a couple different things that you can use to help you form the loops. Some people will use their scissors to help form a loop like that. I know guys that use shish kebab skewers. I just tie and measure the loops out by like kind of the eye of the hook. So you pull the material straight out, measure it up out to the eye of the hook, and then push the material straight back, and that will form your loop. And then with your thread, you'll follow right against your fingers to secure that loop down. And that will be like your first loop. And you progressively get larger to the third loop and then smaller back down to the eye. There's 5 loops in total on a scrambled egg. So this next loop, we'll measure it out a little further than the eye. Make this a little bit bigger. Make sure that your egg yarn doesn't get tangled around, which it's trying to on me here. So pull that out, scrunch that up, and that loop will be a little bit bigger. Secure that down, and then kind of fluff it out with your finger. This will be your middle loop. This loop is going to be the biggest. So wrap around it loose and then tighten down. This one's going to be a little smaller. Secure that down. And then the front one will be the smallest. So that will give you your profile of your egg fly. I like to wrap around right by the eye at the end, and instead of wrapping over top of your extra material, just go ahead and cut that really short so that it almost looks like an extra little piece in the front. Take your whip finisher or whatever finishing knot that you do, go ahead, pull that material back and tie your finishing knot. Trim it off. And that's a scrambled egg.